Awakening to your natural self. Sounds like a great spiritual topic, doesn't it? In this video, I'm going to be sharing more than 17 years of experience on the spiritual path, almost 13 years of experience as a spiritual teacher. Where we're going to start is not really where we're going to go. The idea of awakening to your natural self has all sorts of wonderful connotations to it, but what are we really talking about? What is real? At the heart of this work is this question of what is real? Do we want to know? Knowing what's real is powerful. If I know it's raining outside, I get a raincoat. If I don't know it's raining outside, I might not be prepared. I might get all wet. Doesn't sound very dire, but there are a lot of situations in life where not knowing what's real gets us in serious trouble, causes a lot of pain and suffering. And this path is about freedom from pain and suffering. As a reminder, I'm Jim Tolles. I'm a spiritual teacher. I've been working since 2010. I've been blogging at spiritualawakeningprocess.com and doing these videos here. I encourage you to subscribe to my free newsletter. There's a link in the description. There are also plenty of links to subscribe on the blog, spiritualawakeningprocess.com, to stay engaged. I encourage those of you who haven't yet come to an online class, please do so. Let's take the work deeper. Let's resolve our attachments to illusion so that we can do the work that is necessary with the realities of today. Awakening to your natural self. And let's let go of any ideas around the self. Let's not worry about ultimate truth. Instead, let's say awakening to your natural body. Awakening to your natural body. Experiencing how your body is actually supposed to function mentally, emotionally, and physically. Let's say it that way. Right now, we are living in a time of immense disease that has gotten normalized. If you want some pointers to help yourself understand, I recommend the book, The Story of the Human Body. The Story of the Human Body talks about what we are evolutionarily designed to do and live in the context of what's happening to us now. That there are so many diseases that are not normal diseases for us to have. They're being called mismatch diseases. Heart disease is one of those. It's being caused by lifestyle. It's being caused by lifestyle because we're not designed to live the way that we're living. And there's a lot of these mismatches. And there's a lot of distress as we're living in ways that don't support the body. And the more that our bodies are not feeling well, the more a part of us is looking for solutions. And that's happening a lot on the spiritual path. That people are coming with deep, deep physiological imbalances, and they're so untaught and uneducated about the sources of what they're feeling inside that they don't understand what their body is saying. And people are looking for magical solutions from the spiritual path. Every now and then, somebody's body or their mind gets a little healthier, and it's like, oh, wow, I feel amazing, right? This is one doorway. We're going to talk about some other doorways, but wow, goodness gracious, this feels amazing. Sometimes this is being set up by spiritual retreats because you're usually living in an environment that's closer to natural, less noise pollution. It's usually out someplace beautiful, less air pollution. Usually not a lot of light in some of these retreat centers out in the middle of wherever they are. Not all of them, but a lot of them. And so circadian rhythm, sleeping more as you should. We start to move back towards what the body is supposed to do, and suddenly it starts to perform a lot better, and we feel a lot more amazing. We'll call this an awakening moment. But then we're confused about what just happened. We think something special has happened. As the body started to heal. We can talk about trauma in a similar context, that trauma is like a clenched fist for people, whatever the trauma is. Narcissistic abuse, sexual abuse, physical abuse of any kind, really. Deep neglect abuse, uncertainty abuse. Let's call one of those. That's where you don't know if you can trust your key caretakers, that they're constantly being erratic. People get stuck in a fist. And then one day, the fist relaxes. Wow, right? It's basically the concept of orgasm is tension and release. Well, you've been tensed for 30, 40, 50, 60 years, and suddenly something lets go. It's like, this is amazing. The thing about that is what we've been doing is what we return to. But that moment of feeling a little bit closer to your natural self can really surprise people. But again, we often don't understand that what's going on is a deep physical, emotional relaxation moment. And then we go back into our habitual patterns, and we don't go looking for those patterns. We don't usually go looking for resolving the trauma. We just want to feel good. It can be very profound in some of the things I'm describing, of feeling like you're totally at peace, that you are loved, that all life is one. But it's a misunderstanding of where the problem is coming from and what the solution actually was. You were just waking up to how your body naturally is. And when that normalizes, you don't feel those big moments anymore, because it's just like, oh, my hand's open now. That's it. It's an open hand, and I can close it. I can create tension, or I can let it go. I'm not stuck like this. Then mixed in with all this trauma, with all this poor lifestyle that's making us sick, we're going through the explosion of substances. Every kind, in every direction. Whether it's government regulated or not, we're trying to make ourselves feel better, not understanding why we feel so poorly. And some of those experiences, like magic mushrooms is a very popular one right now, you feel like you're all of one with life. Well, that's not sustainable. That's not actually waking up to your natural self. That is stimulating parts of your brain, your nervous system, and your hormonal systems. That's what that's doing. That is not tenable. And unfortunately, a lot of people think it is. And so that leads people to trying to do more of that. The one big thing that's really useful about those experiences, if you want to know what it really is simply giving people perspective. Perspective that you don't have to feel this one way you felt most of your life, that there are other ways you can feel. That's powerful. We can use that on the spiritual path to start to look inside and say, what is distressed? What is distressed in me? What is impeding my natural body's regulation and health, my natural mental, emotional functioning? What is impeding that? How do I let go of the attachments that are impeding my natural health? That's a powerful way to use substance use. That's a whole other topic for a whole other video. I imagine I will get to one of those pretty soon, because this is how a lot of people are now coming to the spiritual path. They're in so much distress, so much disease, that they're reaching out for these external substances, because that's what our culture tells us to do. That if you're not happy, find the substance or find something external to go fix all this, rather than understanding what's going on inside. And some things do get changed by what we put inside, but it's very simple. It's air, it's our water, it's our nutrition. We start to go in that direction. It's our activity. It's our rest. How do we support the functioning of this body? And it functions in certain ways. It just does. And that's part of letting go of our Western ego. Western ego is mind over matter. That's nonsense. It's more than nonsense. It's legitimately killing people. Legitimately. Type 2 diabetes. This is a made-up disease. We've created it. At the cultural level, communal levels, and individual levels, we don't want to look at how sick this is making us. We have to wake up from that. It's beyond crazy because of how bad these diseases make us feel and make us feel about losing people in our communities when you lose somebody to cancer. That's horrible. In a lot of cancers, we do know what the cause is. Some are more ambiguous at the moment. Give it a few more years, decades of study, and we'll be clearer and clearer about what they are. But since most of them, as far as we know currently, did not exist in much at all prevalence in centuries past, they're in the bucket of things that we're creating. Awakening to your natural body. Do we have the courage to change, to challenge our beliefs, to challenge our lifestyles? Or are we just trying to do more self-soothing and management? This culture excels at trying to manage symptoms. It doesn't resolve root causes. This is one of the most sane things, most rational things we can do on the spiritual path. And in of itself, when I'm talking, I know I've already distinguished myself from a lot of the other spiritual nonsense that you're being fed to, which is a massive problem as well. Not enough spiritual teachers and healers and all those people are understanding the level of physiological distress we're living in and the level of mental and emotional stress that causes and all the other different levels. Just balancing your chakras is not going to fix your gut health. It's time to wake up. The gift on the other side is feeling your body in its natural state, which is extraordinary, and then it becomes normal. And it should become normal. We're going to go through denormalization of lifestyle choices that don't support us. We're going to go through messy transitions. And we're going to have to renegotiate things with our loved ones in our social circles to say, hey, I'm not drinking alcohol. That is sheer poison. Go over to the Andrew Huberman podcast, please. Go listen to his talk about alcohol. Much of what I'm talking about is coming from a lot of, again, paying attention over the last 17 years and definitely going in depth with people in the last almost 13 years. I invite you to do your inquiry. You have to want to know the truth and then to be willing to make these changes. And you can feel your body and you can reclaim your body. And that is an extraordinary, extraordinary gift to have. A body that feels alive and vibrant and clear and confident and loving and open. But this is what people are wanting from the spiritual path. This is often what's associated with this big moments of feeling like you're the self. It's your birthright. Take it back.